Hello, and a very warm welcome to the English Story Nook. We are so glad you could join us for today's story. Today, we're diving into a story about the strange and sometimes scary side of modern technology. Get ready to discover what happens when the feeling of being watched online becomes a little too real, and how a person's sense of reality can be tested. It is a powerful story about trusting your own feelings, even when it feels like no one else does. Before we dive in, if you enjoy our stories and want to support what we do, please give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and consider buying us a coffee on Ko-fi. There's a link in the description below. Every like, subscription, and small contribution helps us keep creating great content for English learners like you. Let's get started. Even my therapist blocked me. The gentle hum of the air purifier was the only sound in Dr. Surayo Al-Helou's minimalist office. Maha El-Abadi sat opposite her, twisting a loose thread on her sleeve. "It's the feeling of being watched," she explained, her voice barely a whisper. "It's constant. I'll be talking to my friend Gamila on the phone, and an hour later, an ad for the specific cafe we mentioned will appear on my feed. It's more than just algorithms. It feels personal." Dr. Al-Helou nodded, her expression one of calm professionalism. "Digital footprints are ubiquitous, Maha. Our devices listen, track, and predict. It can certainly feel invasive." Just then, Maha's phone buzzed on the small table beside her. A notification glowed on the screen. It was a comment on an old photo from a profile with no name or picture, a ghost in the machine. It read, "You always look so nervous when you twist your clothes, just like now." A cold dread washed over Maha. She hadn't mentioned the thread. She showed the phone to her therapist, whose calm expression flickered with something unreadable. "That is disconcerting," Dr. Al-Helou admitted. "But there could be a logical explanation. Perhaps it's a lucky guess, a coincidence." Maha left the session feeling a profound sense of unease, a seed of doubt planted not about her stalker, but about her own perception. Was she just being paranoid? The situation began to escalate over the next few weeks. The anonymous messages became a daily, then hourly torment. The stalker's presence was an incessant hum of anxiety in the back of her mind. They knew her coffee order, the name of her childhood pet, and a deeply personal secret she had only ever shared with her ex-boyfriend, Yusuf Ali. She tried explaining the severity of it to her best friend, Gamila Mohammed, over coffee. "He was always so vindictive after we broke up," Maha said, her hands trembling. "This feels like something he would do." Gamila stirred her latte, her brow furrowed with concern. "It's definitely creepy, Maha. But are you sure it's him? It seems a bit extreme, even for Yusuf." The doubt in her friend's voice was a small echo of Dr. Al-Helou's skepticism. It was a subtle but powerful form of gaslighting, making her question what she knew to be true. The feeling that no one believed her was almost as terrifying as the harassment itself. One sleepless night, scrolling through the stalker's empty profile for the 100th time, Maha noticed something. The default profile picture, a gray silhouette, had a faint, pixelated background. Enlarging it revealed a blurry pattern. It was the same distinctive Art Deco wallpaper from a restaurant where she and Yusuf had celebrated their first anniversary. The connection felt terrifyingly plausible. Armed with this sliver of proof, she booked an emergency session with Dr. Al-Helou. She presented her theory, her voice shaking with a mixture of fear and validation. But her therapist's reaction was not what she had hoped for. "Maha, I think we need to consider the possibility that you are projecting your unresolved feelings about the breakup onto these events," Dr. Al-Helou said gently. "The power of online anonymity can fuel our deepest anxieties. It's easy to build a narrative around coincidences when we are under stress. The session grew tense. Maha felt a wave of frustration and helplessness. This was textbook gaslighting. Her reality was being systematically dismantled by the two people she trusted most. The next day, an email arrived. It was a curt, automated message from the therapy practice's booking system. This email serves as confirmation of the cancellation of all future appointments. We wish you well. Maha's heart pounded. She tried calling Dr. Alhelyu's office, but the line wouldn't connect. She opened the therapy app, Secure Connect Pro, only to be met with an access denied error. She had been blocked. The title of her own internal horror story screamed in her mind, "Even my therapist blocked me." The isolation was absolute. The stalker's messages immediately reflected the change. "Looks like your crazy finally pushed everyone away. Who's going to help you now?" The harassment didn't just escalate. It transformed. Becoming more cruel and targeted, the feeling of being watched was no longer just a feeling. It was a confirmed, suffocating reality. The stalker's vindictive nature was on full display. For days, Maha existed in a fog of fear and self-doubt. The incessant notifications were a constant reminder of her isolation. Was she truly unwell? Had she imagined everything, driving her friend and even her therapist away with her delusions? The stalker's digital presence felt ubiquitous, an all-seeing eye she could not escape. The psychological manipulation had been brutally effective, eroding her confidence and her grip on reality. She needed someone to corroborate her experience, to tell her she wasn't losing her mind. But there was no one left. Her sense of self was fracturing under the weight of the disconcerting events. Then, in a moment of desperate clarity, Hai, huddled under a blanket in her darkened apartment, she remembered something Dr. Alhelyu had said in their first session about the therapy app's parent company, a tech firm named Secure Praisen Schwer Data Flow. A flicker of an idea cut through the panic. She grabbed her laptop and began to delve into the company's digital history. It took hours of searching, but she finally found it. A small article on a tech security blog detailing a recent data breach at the firm. The app had been compromised. Her private sessions, her deepest fears, had been exposed. She immediately called Gamila, her voice raw with desperation. "You have to help me. I have proof. I just need you to help me corroborate it." This time, the terror in Maha's voice was undeniable. Gamila agreed without hesitation. Together, they started to delve into Youssef's online activities, cross-referencing his known usernames with activity on hacking forums. And there it was, a post from a user whose digital signature matched Youssef's, boasting about exploiting the Secure Connect Pro vulnerability to teach an ex a lesson. The subtle clues now formed an undeniable picture. The theory was no longer just plausible. It was a fact. Armed with a folder of screenshots and digital evidence, they went to the police. The officer listened intently, his expression shifting from skepticism to seriousness as they laid out the timeline of events. The power of anonymity that Youssef had hidden behind was finally stripped away. A few days later, a shaken Dr. Alhelu called. "Maha, I'm so sorry," she began, her voice strained. "My systems were compromised. He locked me out, too, and sent that email. He wanted to isolate you completely." The apology was a balm on a raw wound. It didn't erase the doubt or the fear, but it was a start. Maha knew that rebuilding her trust and her mental resilience would be a long and difficult process. The experience had left deep scars. Yet, for the first time in months, she felt a sense of control. The fight for her own sanity had been won, not in a therapist's office, but through her own strength and resilience. The long journey of healing was just beginning, but she would face it on her own terms. That's the end of our story for today. It's a powerful reminder of how important it is to trust our own instincts. What did you think? Have you ever been in a situation where you had to trust your gut feeling? Let us know in the comments. And remember to check the description box for helpful resources to continue your practice. Thank you for listening and learning with us at the English Story Nook. Keep practicing your English, stay curious, and we cannot wait to see you in the next video. Goodbye for now.